Hello and welcome back to English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and I am incredibly happy to have you here with me today. Today, we are going to change the way you listen to English forever. I know that sounds like a big promise, but I want you to be honest with me for a moment. How many times have you been listening to a native speaker or watching a movie without subtitles, and you suddenly felt a wave of panic because you missed one or two words? You probably stopped listening to the rest of the sentence because your brain was stuck on that one tiny word you didn't understand. You might have thought to yourself that if you don't understand every single word, you don't understand anything at all. This is the perfectionist trap. It is the biggest enemy of your fluency. The truth is that even native speakers do not listen to every single word. We ignore a huge part of what we hear. We filter out the noise to focus on the signal. Today, we are going to practice the art of ignoring unimportant words so you can finally relax and understand the true meaning of a conversation. We are going to learn this through a story about a young man named Leo who is starting a very difficult new job. By following Leo's journey, you will learn exactly how to stop translating in your head and start understanding with your heart. So, take a deep breath, let go of the need to be perfect, and let's begin. Imagine a massive, glittering building in the center of a busy city. This is the Grand Meridian Hotel. It is a place where thousands of people come every day from all over the world. The lobby is a whirlwind of noise. You can hear the rolling wheels of suitcases on the marble floor. You can hear the ding of the elevator bells. You can hear dozens of different conversations happening at the same time in different languages. In the middle of this chaos stands Leo. Leo is 24 years old, and today is his first day as a junior guest relations officer. He is wearing a suit that is slightly too tight, and he is holding a clipboard so tightly that his knuckles are turning white. Leo is terrified. He has studied English for years in school. He knows his grammar perfectly. He can write a perfect essay. But standing here in the lobby of the Grand Meridian, he feels like he is drowning in an ocean of words. His boss is a woman named Sarah. Sarah is calm, sharp, and moves through the hotel lobby like a shark moving through water. She walks up to Leo and hands him a radio earpiece. She tells him that his job today is simple. He needs to listen to the guests, find out what they need, and solve their problems immediately. It sounds easy, but Leo is about to discover that real-life English is nothing like the English in his textbooks. Sarah points to a man standing near the front desk. The man looks frustrated. He is wearing a heavy coat and checking his watch every 5 seconds. Sarah tells Leo to go over there and help that man. Leo takes a deep breath, adjusts his tie, and walks over. As Leo approaches the guest, his heart is pounding against his ribs. He is telling himself to listen carefully. He tells himself to catch every single word. He greets the man politely. The man spins around and starts speaking immediately. He speaks very fast. He says that he has been waiting for his luggage for over 40 minutes, and that, frankly, it is just a bit ridiculous because he has a meeting in an hour, and he really needs his blue suit, which is in the main bag. And if he doesn't get it, he is going to be in a lot of trouble with his partners. Leo freezes. His brain tries to catch every word. He hears frankly. He hears ridiculous. He hears partners. He hears trouble. But because he is trying to process the word frankly, and the grammar of has been waiting, he completely misses the most important word in the sentence. He misses the object. He looks at the man with blank eyes. The man stares back, waiting for an answer. Leo stammers. He asks the man to repeat himself. The man sighs loudly, clearly annoyed, and speaks even faster this time, adding more complaints about the traffic and the weather. Leo feels the panic rising in his throat. He apologizes and runs back to Sarah. Let's pause the story right there for a moment. What just happened to Leo? This is exactly what happens to many of you. Leo tried to treat the conversation like a dictation test. He treated the word frankly with the same importance as the word luggage. But in English, not all words are created equal. We have two types of words. We have content words and we have function words. Content words are the nouns, the main verbs, the adjectives, and the numbers. These are the bricks of the house. They carry the meaning. If you only heard waiting, 40 minutes, luggage, and blue suit, you would understand perfectly what the man wanted. Then we have function words. These are the prepositions, the articles, the auxiliary verbs, and the filler words. These are words like the a, has been, of, and, or that. These are the cement that holds the bricks together. They are important for grammar, yes, but they are not critical for understanding the immediate message in a loud, fast environment. Leo failed because he was staring at the cement and ignoring the bricks. When you focus on function words, your brain gets tired. You suffer from cognitive overload. You are using all your energy to process has been, while the speaker has already moved on to the main point. I want you to try something with me right now. I am going to say a sentence in a normal, fast, native speed. I want you to try to ignore the small words. Don't worry about the grammar. Just try to grab the big words, the images. Ready? Here is the sentence. I was wondering if you could possibly tell me where the nearest coffee shop might be located. Listen again. I was wondering if you could possibly tell me where the nearest coffee shop might be located. It is a long sentence. But what are the bricks? Where? Nearest. Coffee shop. That is it. If you heard those three words, you win. The rest of the sentence is just politeness. It is just decoration. It is unnecessary for the core meaning. If you try to translate, I was wondering, you might get confused about the tense. But if you just hunt for coffee shop, you understand immediately. Let's go back to the Grand Meridian Hotel and see if Leo can learn this lesson. Sarah sees Leo returning with a pale face. She doesn't get angry. She simply smiles. She asks him what went wrong. Leo admits that the man spoke too fast and used too many words he didn't expect. Sarah puts a hand on Leo's shoulder. She tells him that he is listening too hard. She tells him to stop being a student and start being a detective. She explains that a detective does not collect every piece of trash on the street. A detective only looks for the clues that matter. She tells Leo that for the next hour, she wants him to ignore all the small words. She tells him to pretend the guests are sending him a telegram. In a telegram, every word costs money, so you only send the most important ones. Leo nods slowly. He understands the theory, but doing it is harder. Sarah points to a new target. A woman is sitting on a velvet sofa near the window. She is surrounded by shopping bags and looks very tired. She is holding a map. Sarah tells Leo to go and see if she needs assistance. Leo walks over. He reminds himself to be a detective. Look for the bricks. Ignore the cement. He approaches the woman. She looks up and smiles gratefully. She starts talking. She says that she is actually sort of looking for this specific museum that her friend told her about, the one with the modern art. But she is a little bit turned around because the map is kind of confusing. Leo's brain starts to panic again when he hears actually sort of looking, but he stops himself. He mentally deletes those words. He waits for the heavy words. He catches museum. He catches modern art. He catches map confusing. He ignores turned around because he guesses from the context that she is lost. He doesn't need to know the exact definition of turned around to help her. Leo smiles and points to the map. He asks her if she means the City Modern Art Gallery. The woman's face lights up. She says yes, that is the one, and she wants to know if it is within walking distance or if she should take a taxi because her feet are killing her. Leo listens. He filters. He ignores if she should. He hears walking distance, taxi, feet killing. He understands she is tired. He tells her it is too far to walk and offers to call a taxi. The woman is delighted. She thanks him profusely. Leo feels a small spark of victory in his chest. He didn't understand every word. He didn't know what turned around meant exactly. But he focused on the meaning, not the perfection. And he succeeded. This feeling that Leo has right now is what I want you to feel. It is the feeling of liberation. When you stop clinging to every word, you free up mental space. You have more energy to process the important stuff. Think about how you listen in your own native language. If you are in a noisy restaurant and your friend is telling a story, do you hear every preposition? No. You fill in the gaps. You guess. You use context. But when we learn English, we are afraid to guess. We think guessing is cheating. I am here to tell you that guessing is not cheating. Guessing is an essential skill of fluency. Let's go deeper into the mind of Leo. He is feeling better, but the hotel is getting busier. It is now check-in time. The lobby is flooded with people. The noise level doubles. Sarah comes over to Leo with the more serious look on her face. She tells him that there is a VIP guest arriving in 5 minutes. This guest is a famous food critic named Mr. Moretti. Mr. Moretti is known for being difficult and speaking very quietly. Sarah says she needs to handle a crisis in the kitchen, so she needs Leo to greet Mr. Moretti and escort him to his suite. This is a big test. Leo waits by the glass doors. He watches the cars pull up. A black limousine arrives. A man steps out. He is wearing dark sunglasses and a scarf. This is Mr. Moretti. Leo steps forward. He welcomes him to the Grand Meridian. Mr. Moretti stops and looks at Leo. He speaks in a low murmur. He says that he hopes the room is ready because he has had a dreadful flight. Absolutely dreadful. And he simply cannot deal with any administrative nonsense right now. He just wants to go up, have a hot tea, and not be disturbed until dinner. Leo leans in. The background noise is loud. Mr. Moretti's voice is soft. Leo catches room ready. Dreadful flight. No administrative nonsense. Tea. Not disturbed. He misses the word simply, and the word absolutely. He misses the entire phrase until dinner. He processes the request. The man wants to go to his room immediately without paperwork. But Leo missed the part about until dinner. This is a risk. If Leo misses a time constraint, it could be a problem. But Leo uses his detective skills. He looks at the man. The man looks exhausted. It makes sense he wants to rest. Leo decides to focus on the immediate action. He guides Mr. Moretti to the elevator, bypassing the front desk. He tells the reception staff to process the papers later. He takes Mr. Moretti to the suite. He asks if Mr. Moretti would like tea. Mr. Moretti sighs with relief and says yes. Leo leaves the room and closes the door. He leans against the wall and exhales. He survived. But then he realizes he missed something. He vaguely remembers hearing a time word at the end of the sentence. Was it lunch? Was it dinner? He isn't sure. This brings us to the next level of listening, which is recovering from missed information. Sometimes you will filter out too much. You will ignore a word that was actually a brick, mistaking it for cement. This happens. It happens to native speakers too. The key is not to panic, but to verify. Back in the lobby, Leo finds Sarah. He tells her he took Mr. Moretti to the room and ordered tea. Sarah nods, pleased. Then Leo admits he thinks Mr. Moretti mentioned a time he didn't want to be disturbed until, but he missed it. Sarah asks what he thinks it was. Leo guesses dinner because the man was tired. Sarah smiles. She tells him that is a good guess, but in a hotel, we must be sure about do not disturb requests. She teaches him a phrase that will save your life in English conversation. The phrase is, just to clarify. She tells Leo that if he ignores the unimportant words but misses a key detail, he should never be afraid to ask for clarification on that specific point. He shouldn't ask, "Can you repeat everything?" because that is annoying. He should say, "Just to clarify, you said you don't want to be disturbed until dinner, correct?" This shows you understood the main idea, but just need to check one detail. It makes you look professional, not confused. Leo goes back to the hallway outside Mr. Moretti's room. He sees a waiter bringing the tea. Leo stops the waiter and writes a note to put on the tray. The note says, "Enjoy your tea, Mr. Moretti. We will ensure you are not disturbed. Please let us know when you are ready for dinner service." This is a clever move. It confirms the timeline without admitting he forgot. 10 minutes later, the waiter returns. He tells Leo that Mr. Moretti was happy and said, "Yes, 7 p.m. for dinner. Thank you." Leo solved the puzzle. Let's step out of the story again and analyze this technique. Leo used context to fill the gap, and then he used a verification strategy to be safe. When you are listening to English, you must be active. Passive listening is when you let the words hit you and hope you understand. Active listening is when you filter the garbage, grab the gold, and then check if the gold is real. You need to constantly ask yourself if this makes sense. If I missed a word, can I guess it from the situation? There are specific words that you can almost always ignore in spoken English. These are what we call fillers. In the story, the first guest used the word frankly. The second guest said actually, sort of. These are empty words. They buy time for the speaker to think. Native speakers use, like, if you try to translate, every time you hear it, you will go crazy. Usually doesn't mean you actually know anything. It is just a rhythmic beat in the sentence. It is noise. I want to give you a challenge. The next time you watch a YouTube video or listen to a podcast, I want you to try to identify the fillers. Don't listen to the content. Just listen for the ums, the likes, and the you-knows. Count them. You will be shocked at how many there are. Once you realize how much of spoken English is just empty noise, you will stop feeling bad about missing words. You will realize that you are not missing meaning. You are just missing the packaging. Let's return to Leo. It is now afternoon at the Grand Meridian. The sun is setting, casting long golden shadows across the marble floor. Leo is feeling more confident. He has successfully navigated a few more guests. He helped a family find the swimming pool by listening for swim and kids. He helped a businessman find a charger by listening for phone and dead. He is starting to enjoy the rhythm of the work. But the final challenge of the day is approaching. Sarah calls a meeting for the staff. The general manager of the hotel is coming down to speak to them. The general manager is a Scottish man named Mr. Campbell. Scottish accents can be very difficult for learners because the vowels sound different, and the rhythm is unique. Leo is nervous again. He has trouble with accents. Sarah tells the team that Mr. Campbell is going to give instructions for a major event happening tomorrow. The International Tech Convention. Thousands of people will be arriving. Mr. Campbell stands in front of the staff. He is a large man with a booming voice. He starts speaking. He speaks with a thick, rolling accent. He says, "Right then, lads and lasses, tomorrow is going to be a wee bit manic. I'm not going to lie. We've got the tech crowd coming in at 8 sharp, so I need the East Wing completely cleared of all the breakfast trolleys by 7:30, no exceptions, or there'll be hell to pay." Leo's ears are ringing. Wee bit manic? Lads and lasses? Hell to pay? These are idioms and slang. If Leo tries to translate wee bit manic, he might get stuck on wee, which means small, and manic, which means crazy. But if he steps back and looks for the bricks, what does he find? Tomorrow. Tech crowd. 8. East Wing. Cleared. 7:30. No exceptions. The message is clear. Clear the East Wing by 7:30. The rest is just Mr. Campbell's personality. It is flavor. It is not nutrition. Leo looks around. Some of the other new staff members look terrified. They are whispering to each other, asking what hell to pay means. Leo realizes he doesn't care what it means. He knows it means something bad. But the specific definition doesn't matter. What matters is the time and the location. Leo raises his hand. Sarah looks surprised. Mr. Campbell looks at Leo and asks if he has a question. Leo clears his throat. He decides to practice the summary technique. He says, "Sir, just to confirm, the East Wing must be empty of trolleys by 7:30? Mr. Campbell beams. "Spot on, son. Spot on." Leo breathes out. He did it. He ignored the accent. He ignored the slang. He ignored the fear. He focused on the data. This is the power of selective listening. It changes you from a passive victim of the language into an active master of the conversation. You stop letting the language control you. You start controlling how you process the language. But remember, this takes practice. You cannot just flip a switch and be perfect at it. Your brain has been trained for years to read every word in a book. Reading is different. When you read, you can go back. You can look at the word. In listening, the word is gone in a second. You have to let it go. I want you to think of listening like walking across a stream on stepping stones. The water is the flow of unimportant words. The stones are the content words, the nouns and verbs. You don't need to touch the water. You just need to jump from stone to get to the other side. If you try to stand on the water, you will sink. If you try to understand every preposition, you will drown in the noise. Stay on the stones. Stay on the nouns and verbs. As the sun sets outside the Grand Meridian, Leo is finishing his shift. He is tired, but his brain feels different. Usually, after a day of speaking English, he has a headache. He feels exhausted from the mental effort of translation. But today, he feels lighter. He realizes that he didn't translate much today. He visualized. When Mr. Campbell said East Wing, Leo didn't see the words East Wing in his head. he saw the hallway. When the woman said museum, he saw the building. He is starting to bypass his native language and go straight to meaning. Sarah walks up to him as he is clocking out. She hands him a coffee. She tells him he did good today and stopped panicking. Leo smiles and says he stopped listening to the ghosts. Sarah laughs and agrees, saying the ghosts are the words that haunt you but aren't really there. Leo walks out of the hotel into the cool evening air of the city. He puts his headphones on. He starts listening to a podcast in English. Usually, he plays it at 0.75 speed. Today, he leaves it at normal speed. He hears a lot of words he doesn't know. He hears fast jokes he doesn't get. But he catches the topic. He catches the story. He catches the emotion. And for the first time, he doesn't hit pause to look up a word. He just keeps walking, letting the stream of English flow over him, jumping from stone to stone. But Leo's journey is just beginning. As the sun goes down, the lobby of the Grand Meridian is changing. The bright daylight is replaced by soft, electric lights. The noise of the suitcases is quieter, but the challenges are about to get much harder. You see, listening to someone when you can see their face is one thing. You can read their lips. You can look at their hands. You can see if they are happy or angry. But what happens when you take away the eyes? What happens when you are blind? We are moving into the next phase of our story. The invisible voice. This is the nightmare of every English learner. The telephone. Leo is standing behind the reception desk. The night shift manager, a man named Mr. Henderson, tells Leo that he needs to cover the phones for an hour while the operators take a break. Leo's stomach drops. He hates the phone. On the phone, the audio quality is often bad. The connection cuts out. And worst of all, there are no visual clues. You are alone in the dark with the voice. Leo puts on the headset. It feels heavy on his ears. He stares at the blinking red light. It is waiting for him. Suddenly, the light turns solid. A call is coming in. Leo takes a deep breath. He remembers Sarah's advice. Be a detective. But now, he has to be a blind detective. He presses the button. Grand Meridian, Leo speaking. How can I help you? The voice on the other end is crackly. It sounds like static. It is an elderly woman, and she is speaking very quickly, and she sounds panicked. She says, "Hello? Is this the front desk? Listen, I've just left the hotel. I'm in a taxi heading to the airport, and I think I've left my heart medication in the room, on the nightstand, or maybe it's in the bathroom, I don't know, but I need it. I can't fly without it." Leo freezes. The static makes it hard to hear. He hears taxi. He hears airport. He misses the word medication because of the static. He hears bathroom. He hears fly. His brain tries to reconstruct the sentence. Taxi, airport, bathroom, fly. It doesn't make sense. Why would she be flying in the bathroom? Panic starts to rise. He wants to ask her to repeat everything. But he knows that if he asks a panicked person to repeat themselves, they usually just speak louder and faster, which makes it worse. Leo closes his eyes. This is a secret technique. When you are on the phone, close your eyes. It shuts off the visual distractions and forces your brain to focus entirely on the sound. He replays the sound in his memory. He remembers a word that sounded like heart and a word that sounded like medication. He takes a risk. He uses the keyword confirmation technique. He doesn't say, "I didn't understand." Instead, he says, "Ma'am, you are in a taxi to the airport, and you left something in the room. Is it a medical item?" There is a pause on the line. The woman breathes out. Yes, my heart pills. In room 402. Leo feels a rush of relief. He didn't understand the whole sentence. He didn't hear nightstand. He didn't hear I can't fly without it perfectly. But he caught the emotional urgency and the key nouns. He tells her he will check room 402 immediately and asks her to stay on the line. He radios housekeeping. They confirm the pills are there. Leo tells the woman they found them and will send a driver to meet her at the airport entrance with the package. The woman starts crying with relief. She thanks him. Leo hangs up the phone and his hands are shaking. What did Leo just do? He practiced acoustic reconstruction. This is what native speakers do all the time. When we miss a word due to noise, our brain fills in the blank based on probability. Leo heard heart and room. The most probable connection is that she left something important. By closing his eyes and focusing on the tone of her voice, the panic, he understood the urgency. In English listening, tone is just as important as vocabulary. If someone says, "Oh, great," with a falling voice, it means, "This is terrible." If they say, "Oh, great," with a rising voice, it means they are happy. On the phone, you must listen to the music of the voice. Is it fast? Is it high-pitched? Is it slow and deep? Leo answers 5 more calls. Each one is a puzzle. One man mumbles, "I need some fresh towels." He says it so lazily it sounds like "need some fresh toes." Leo doesn't panic. He expects the word towels because he is in a hotel. This is called priming. Your brain is primed to hear words related to the context. If you are in a restaurant, your brain is ready for menu, fork, water. If you are in a hospital, you are ready for doctor, pain, nurse. Leo realizes that he can predict what people will say before they finish saying it. When a guest says, "I would like to order room," Leo's brain automatically screams, "Service." When a guest says, "What time is check?" Leo's brain screams, "Out." This brings us to the next major skill, prediction. Fluency is not just about hearing. It is about predicting. Native speakers are fortune tellers. We know what is coming next. This is why we can speak so fast. We don't listen to every word because we have already guessed the end of the sentence. To practice this, Leo starts a game with himself. Every time the phone rings, he looks at the caller ID. If it is a room number, he predicts a request for food or housekeeping. If it is an external number, he predicts a reservation or a question about location. A call comes in from room 505. Leo predicts, problem with the room. He answers. A man says, "Hi, the air conditioning is making a really weird." Leo's brain fills in the blank. Noise. The man continues, noise, like a rattling sound. Leo was right. Because he predicted the word noise, he wasn't struggling to understand it. He was waiting for it to be confirmed. This reduces the cognitive load. If you are constantly reacting to words, you will be tired. If you are predicting words, you will feel in control. I want you to try this. The next time you are listening to a conversation, try to finish the person's sentences in your head. If they say, "I'm really hungry, let's go get some," you think food or dinner. If they say, "It's raining, don't forget your," you think umbrella. Leo finishes his hour on the phone. He feels like he has run a marathon. He takes off the headset and rubs his ears. Mr. Henderson nods at him and tells him he did a good job because he didn't hang up on anyone. But the night is not over. The biggest challenge is walking through the front door. A couple enters the hotel. They look wealthy, but they look angry. This is Mr. and Mrs. Miller. They are arguing with each other as they approach the desk, and they are talking over each other. This is the cocktail party problem. In audio science, this refers to the ability to focus on one single voice while filtering out other voices. For a learner, two people talking at the same time is a nightmare. Leo stands up straight. Mr. Miller slams his hand on the desk. "This is unacceptable," he yells. Mrs. Miller is talking at the same time, saying she told him they should have booked the suite, but he never listens. And now, look where they are. Mr. Miller ignores his wife and talks to Leo. "We requested a sea view. I have the email right here. It clearly says sea view." Mrs. Miller keeps talking. "It smells like smoke in the hallway, Henry. I can't stay in a place that smells like smoke. My asthma will act up." Leo is being bombarded. Voice A is shouting about a sea view. Voice B is complaining about smoke and asthma. If Leo tries to listen to both of them equally, his brain will crash. He has to make a choice. He has to identify the dominant message. Which problem is more urgent, the view or the health issue? Leo looks at Mrs. Miller. She is coughing. He decides that the health issue is the priority. He ignores Mr. Miller's shouting about the view for a second. He looks at Mrs. Miller and uses the interrupt and redirect technique. He raises his hand slightly, palm open. This is a calming gesture. He speaks clearly. "Madam, I apologize about the smell. Are you okay? Do you need water?" This stops the argument. Mrs. Miller stops talking because Leo focused on her needs. Mr. Miller stops shouting because he realizes his wife is being addressed. Silence falls over the desk. Now Leo takes control. "I understand we have two problems," Leo says. "First, the smell of smoke. Second, the missing sea view. Let me solve the smoke problem first, because that is a health risk." He types on his computer. He finds a new room. It is a suite on the top floor. It has a sea view. It is an upgrade. He hands the key to Mr. Miller. "This room has no smoke, and it has a panoramic sea view. I will upgrade you for free." The couple is stunned. They stop arguing. They smile. They take the key and leave. Leo leans back against the counter. He realizes something profound. Listening is not just about words. It is about emotional filtering. He had to ignore the anger adjectives like unacceptable and ridiculous and focus on the problem nouns like sea view and smoke. If he had focused on the anger, he would have become defensive. By focusing on the nouns, he became a problem solver. This is a crucial lesson for you. When you are listening to English, especially in an argument or a heated discussion, people will use a lot of emotional words. They will use sarcasm. They will exaggerate. You must learn to let those words float away. Like a net that catches only the big fish and lets the water through, your ears should catch the facts and let the emotions pass through. Let's take a moment to practice this fact filtering. I am going to act out a complaint. I want you to listen. Ignore my anger. Ignore my dramatic words. Just tell me, what is the actual problem? Here is the complaint. I simply cannot believe this service. I have been waiting here for 20 minutes, standing on my feet like an idiot, just to get a simple glass of water. It is absolutely outrageous that a hotel of this standard cannot even provide basic hydration. Did you catch the problem? The problem is waiting 20 minutes and glass of water. The words idiot, outrageous, standard, basic hydration simply cannot believe are all emotional decorations. They are not the problem. If you answer, I am sorry you feel like an idiot, that is the wrong answer. If you answer, I will get you water immediately, that is the right answer. Leo is learning that fluency is largely about confidence. Confidence comes from knowing what to ignore. As the night continues, the lobby becomes quiet again. It is 11 p.m. The late-night crew is settling in. Leo is exhausted, but his brain feels sharp. He decides to walk around the lobby to stretch his legs. He sees a man sitting in the corner, reading a newspaper. It is the hotel's security guard, Ben. Ben is a native English speaker, but he is not like the guests. The guests speak international English or formal English. Ben speaks real street English. He mumbles. He connects words together. He uses slang. Leo sits down next to Ben. Ben looks up and grins. "All right, mate? Quiet night, innit?" Leo processes this. "All right, mate?" doesn't mean, "Are you all right?" It is just a greeting. "Innit" is a tag question for, "Isn't it?" "Yes, it is quiet," Leo replies. Ben folds his paper. "Reckon it'll pick up later, though. Usually get a few rowdy ones coming in from the clubs round 2-ish. Gotta keep your eyes peeled." Leo's brain stumbles. "Reckon? Rowdy? 2-ish? Peel your eyes?" This is the next level of ignoring unimportant words, decoding idioms and connected speech. Reckon means "I think." Rowdy means noisy or drunk. 2-ish means around 2 o'clock. And keep your eyes peeled means keep your eyes open or be alert. But Leo doesn't know peeled. He imagines peeling an orange. It makes no sense. But he looks at the context. Ben is a security guard. He is talking about noisy people coming late at night. So keep your eyes peeled must mean watch out. Leo guesses the meaning. "I will stay alert," Leo says. Ben laughs. "That's it, lad. Don't let 'em give you no grief. Grief usually means sadness. But here, in this context, Ben means trouble." Leo realizes that words change meaning depending on who is speaking. A doctor saying grief means sadness. A security guard saying grief means trouble. This is why you cannot rely on a dictionary alone. You must rely on the person. Who is speaking? What is their job? What is their vibe? Leo decides to ask Ben a question. He wants to practice his casual listening. "Ben, do you find it hard to understand the guests sometimes?" Ben laughs. "Mate, half the time I haven't got a Scooby what they're on about. I just nod and smile. As long as you're polite, you can get away with murder. Haven't got a Scooby." Leo has never heard this. It is Cockney rhyming slang. Scooby-Doo equals clue. I haven't got a clue. Leo laughs. He realizes that even native speakers ignore words they don't understand. Ben, a native speaker, admits he just nods and smiles. If a native speaker can do it, surely Leo can do it too. This is a very liberating thought. You do not need to understand 100% to be part of the conversation. Sometimes 50% plus a smile is enough. Suddenly, the radio on Leo's belt crackles to life. It breaks the peaceful moment. It is the night manager, Mr. Henderson. His voice is tight and serious. "Leo, Ben, security to the lobby immediately. We have a situation at the main entrance." Leo jumps up. The relaxed atmosphere is gone. His heart starts racing. He runs with Ben to the glass doors. Outside, the rain is pouring down. A black van has pulled up. People are jumping out. They are holding cameras. Flashes of light are popping everywhere. It is the paparazzi, the press. And in the middle of them, trying to get into the hotel, is a woman wearing a hood. She looks terrified. She is shielding her face. Leo recognizes her. It is the famous actress, Elena V. She is checking in incognito, but the secret is out. Mr. Henderson shouts at Leo. "Leo, get her inside! Get her to the private elevator. Do not let the press inside. I will handle the door." Leo runs outside into the rain. The noise is deafening. The photographers are shouting, "Elena, over here! Elena, look at me!" The rain is pounding. Leo reaches the woman. She is shaking. She grabs Leo's arm. She says something to him, but the noise is too loud. "What?" Leo shouts. She pulls him closer. She whispers directly into his ear, "Please, no names? Check me in as Mrs. Smith? And my son is in the car behind. Get him." Leo has to filter the most extreme noise of his life. The cameras, the shouting, the rain, the adrenaline. He focuses on the bricks. No names. Mrs. Smith, son, car behind. He nods. He doesn't ask her to repeat. He knows there is no time. He grabs her bag and guides her through the spinning doors into the lobby. He signals Ben. "Ben!" The car behind. "There is a boy. Bring him in." Ben nods and runs into the rain. Leo takes Elena to the elevator. He doesn't go to the front desk. He knows no names. He uses his master key to swipe the elevator. They go up. The silence of the elevator is a shock after the noise outside. Elena pulls back her hood. She looks at Leo. "Thank you," she breathes. "My son?" "Ben is getting him," Leo says with confidence. "He is safe." The elevator dings. They step out. Leo opens an empty suite. He lets her in. "I will bring the paperwork up later. Rest now." She smiles. A real human smile. "You listened," she says. Most people just scream. Leo walks back to the elevator. He leans his head against the cool metal wall. He is shaking. He just realized that he didn't translate a single word during that entire emergency. He didn't think about grammar. He didn't worry about the present perfect tense. He just acted. He bypassed the language center of his brain and went straight to the instinct center. This is the state of flow. Flow is when the challenge matches your skill level and you lose track of time and self. Musicians feel it. Athletes feel it. And language learners can feel it too. It happens when you stop analyzing and start doing. When you are practicing listening, you want to achieve flow. You can't achieve flow if you are stopping every 5 seconds to look up a word in the dictionary. You have to keep moving. You have to let the water carry you. Leo returns to the lobby. Ben is there holding a sleeping little boy. He hands the boy to a nanny who has just arrived. Ben looks at Leo and winks. "Sorted, mate." "Sorted," Leo repeats. He knows what it means now. It means everything is okay. Leo goes back to the front desk. He looks at the clock. It is 2 a.m. His shift is almost over. He has survived the angry couple, the blind phone calls, the mumbling guard, and the paparazzi storm. He takes out his notebook. He writes down 3 words. Focus on the nouns. Filter the emotions. Flow. Don't stop. These are the 3 F's of fluency. I want you to write these down too. Focus. Look for the bricks. Filter. Ignore the cement and the decoration. Flow. Keep moving forward, even if you miss something. As Leo packs his bag to go home, he feels different than he did this morning. This morning, he was a student. Tonight, he is a communicator. He knows he still makes mistakes. He knows he still has an accent. But he also knows that he can handle a crisis. But just as he is about to leave, the phone rings one last time. Leo hesitates. He should let the night porter get it. But something makes him pick it up. Grand Meridian, Leo speaking. The voice on the other end is cold, mechanical, and very distinct. It is not a guest. "This is the police," the voice says. "We have received a report of a missing person who may have checked into your hotel under a false name. We are coming over. Do not let anyone leave." Leo's heart stops. Elena V. He just checked her in under a false name. Mrs. Smith. Did he make a mistake? Did he misunderstand the situation? Was she hiding from the press, or was she running from the law? The confidence he felt 2 seconds ago vanishes. Did he filter too much? Did he ignore a warning sign because he was too focused on being helpful? He remembers the detective advice. A detective looks for clues, but sometimes clues can be misleading. The voice on the phone continues. We will be there in 10 minutes. Prepare the guest list. Leo hangs up. He looks at the computer screen where he typed Mrs. Smith. The clock is ticking past 2 a.m. The rain is hammering against the glass doors of the Grand Meridian Hotel. And outside, blue lights are flashing. If you are listening to this, you are serious about your fluency. You know that English is not just about ordering coffee or chatting about the weather. Sometimes, English is about high-stakes situations. It is about solving problems when the consequences are real. In this final part of our story, we are going to learn about critical listening. This is the ability to listen not just for words, but for facts, logic, and inconsistencies. It is the ability to separate your fear from the reality of what is being said. Leo is about to take a final exam that he never studied for. Let's stand beside him and see if he passes. Leo stands behind the marble counter. His hands are resting on the cool stone, but his palms are sweating. He watches as 2 police officers walk through the spinning doors. They are wearing dark uniforms that are wet from the rain. They look tired, serious, and very official. They walk straight up to the desk. The older officer, a man with gray hair and a stern face, speaks first. He says, "Good evening. We are conducting an inquiry regarding a missing individual who was reported to be in this vicinity. We have reason to believe this individual may have attempted to secure accommodation at this establishment within the last hour." Let's pause right there. This is police English, or official register. It is very different from the street English Leo heard from Ben the security guard. It is full of passive voice and long Latin-based words. Conducting an inquiry instead of asking questions. Individual instead of person. Secure accommodation instead of get a room. Establishment instead of hotel. Leo's heart is pounding. He hears missing individual and last hour. His mind immediately jumps to Elena V., the actress he just hid in the suite. She was hiding. She used a fake name. Is she the missing person? Is she a criminal? Did Leo just aid and abet a fugitive? Panic screams in his ear. Panic tells him to confess immediately. Panic tells him to say, "I'm sorry, she's upstairs, I didn't know." But Leo stops. He takes a breath. He remembers the 3 F's. Focus, filter, flow. He remembers that panic is the enemy of listening. If he confesses now, and they are looking for someone else, he will have betrayed a guest for no reason. He needs more information. He needs to use critical listening. Leo looks at the officer and uses the clarification strategy we learned earlier, but he makes it more formal to match the officer's tone. He does not say, "What?" or "Who?" He says, "I understand, officer. We have had several check-ins tonight. Could you provide a specific description of the individual you are looking for?" Notice what Leo did. He didn't answer yes or no. He asked for data. This is a power move. It buys him time and gives him control. The officer nods. He pulls out a notebook. The subject is a female, Caucasian, approximately 16 years of age, wearing a red hooded sweatshirt and carrying a black backpack. She goes by the name Sarah Smith, though she may be using an alias. Leo listens. He enters the matrix mode of listening. He slows down time. He compares the data points in his head against the reality he saw. Data point 1, female. This is a match. Elena is female. Data point 2, name Sarah Smith. This is a close match. Elena used Mrs. Smith. Data point 3, 16 years of age. This is a mismatch. Elena is clearly in her 30s. Data point 4, red hooded sweatshirt. This is a mismatch. Elena was wearing a beige trench coat. Data point 5, black backpack. This is a mismatch. Elena had Louis Vuitton suitcases. Leo exhales. The air rushes out of his lungs. They are not looking for Elena. They are looking for a runaway teenager who happens to have the same common last name, Smith. This is the power of critical listening. If Leo had only listened to the words female, Smith, and alias, he would have panicked. He would have led the police to Elena's room, caused a massive scandal, and lost his job. But because he listened to the adjectives and the numbers, 16, red, backpack, he found the truth. In listening exams and in real life, the answer often lies in the adjectives. The noun tells you what it is, but the adjective tells you which one. Leo looks at the officer with steady eyes. Officer, I can confirm that we have checked in a Mrs. Smith tonight. But she does not match that description. Our guest is an adult woman in her 30s with luxury luggage. We have not seen a 16-year-old girl in a red hoodie. The officer looks at his partner. Then he looks back at Leo. He asks a follow-up question. This is a trap question. It is designed to test if Leo is lying. The officer asks, "Are you sure?" It was raining heavily. Perhaps you didn't get a good look at her face. This is a test of confidence. Many English learners crumble here. They doubt themselves. They think, maybe I was wrong, maybe I didn't understand. But Leo trusts his eyes and his ears. He trusts his memory. I am quite certain, officer, Leo says clearly. I escorted the guest to the elevator myself. I spoke with her. She is not the teenager you are looking for. The officer stares at Leo for 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds feel like 2 hours. Then, the officer closes his notebook. Very well. She must have gone to the hostel down the street. Thank you for your cooperation. They turn around and walk out into the rain. The automatic doors slide shut behind them. The silence returns to the lobby. Leo leans forward and rests his forehead on his arms. He is shaking, but this time it is from relief. He passed the test. He didn't just practice English. He practiced composure. He realizes that fluency is not about knowing every word in the dictionary. It is about having the courage to stand your ground and trust what you heard. Ben, the security guard, walks over. He saw the whole thing. He claps Leo on the back. Well handled, mate. Cool as a cucumber you were. I thought you were going to faint when they walked in. Leo lifts his head and smiles weakly. I almost did, but I listened for the adjectives. The adjectives? Ben laughs. Good, lad. Always watch out for the adjectives. They're the ones that catch you out. The night winds down. The clock hits 6 a.m. The sky outside the glass doors begins to turn a soft, pale gray. The rain has stopped. The city is waking up. The morning shift staff begins to trickle in through the back entrance. Sarah, the manager who trained Leo yesterday morning, walks in. She looks fresh and energetic, holding a cup of coffee. She sees Leo. He looks like a soldier returning from war. His tie is loose, his hair is messy, and his eyes are tired. She walks up to him. Leo, you survived. Leo straightens up. Yes, Sarah. I survived. She looks at the logbook where Leo has written his notes. She sees the entry for Mrs. Smith, VIP, no press. She sees the note about the broken air conditioner. She sees the note about the police inquiry. Her eyebrows go up. You had the police here? And Elena Fee? And a plumbing disaster? Sarah reads the notes. She looks at Leo with new respect. Leo, most people quit after a shift like this. How did you manage? Leo thinks about it. How did he manage? He thinks about the ghost words. He thinks about the bricks. He thinks about the prediction game. I stopped trying to be perfect, Leo says honestly. I just listened for the story. I ignored the noise, and when I didn't understand, I asked. Sarah smiles. Then you are not a junior officer anymore, Leo. You are a real hotelier. Go home. Sleep. You earned it. Leo walks to the locker room. He changes out of his uniform. He puts on his own clothes, his comfortable jeans and a soft t-shirt. He walks out of the Grand Meridian Hotel. The morning air is crisp and clean. The sun is just peeking over the skyscrapers, painting the city in gold. As he walks to the subway station, Leo realizes something has changed in his brain. He hears a couple talking on the street corner. They are speaking fast English. Yesterday, Leo would have panicked. He would have tried to translate every word. Today, he just lets the sound wash over him. He catches breakfast. Late. Meeting. He understands they are in a hurry. He doesn't need the rest. He gets on the train. The announcement comes over the speaker. The next station is Central Park. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Leo smiles. He hears Central Park. He hears gap. He knows what to do. The rest is just cement. This brings us to the end of our story. But it is the beginning of your new way of listening. We have covered a huge amount of ground in these lessons. I want to take a moment to summarize the Grand Meridian method that you have learned along with Leo. First, remember the brick and cement theory, where you never try to catch every word. English is made of heavy bricks, which are nouns and verbs, and light cement, which is grammar and fillers. Your brain only needs the bricks to build the house. If you miss a preposition, let it go. If you miss an article, let it go. If you catch the noun, you catch the meaning. Second, adopt the detective mindset. Stop being a passive student who waits for the teacher to speak slowly. Be a detective. Hunt for clues. Use the context. If you are in a hotel, expect hotel words. If you are in a hospital, expect medical words. Prime your brain before the conversation starts. Third, use echo and prediction. Don't just listen to what is happening now. Predict what will happen next. Finish the speaker's sentences in your head. And when you are on the phone, close your eyes. Remove the visual distractions and focus entirely on the music of the voice. Fourth, master emotional filtering. People wrap their messages in emotion. They use anger, sarcasm, and fear. You must be a filter. Catch the facts. Let the emotions drain away. If someone shouts that something is unacceptable, you simply hear that they have a problem and need help. Finally, use critical verification. When the stakes are high, like with the police or a business deal, listen for the details. Listen for the numbers and adjectives. And never be afraid to say, just to clarify. Verifying is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of professionalism. I want you to take these 5 tools and put them in your pocket. They are yours now. You don't need to be Leo. You have your own life, your own job, your own challenges. Maybe you have a meeting with a boss who speaks too fast. Maybe you have a move to a new country coming up. Maybe you just want to watch a movie without subtitles. Whatever your goal is, The method is the same. Stop translating. Start visualizing. Stop fearing mistakes. Start embracing guesses. I have one final challenge for you, and this is the most important one. I call it the 1 Minute of Chaos Challenge. I want you to go to a news website like CNN, BBC, or Al Jazeera. Find a video clip of a debate or a breaking news report. These are usually fast, loud, and full of interruptions. I want you to listen to 1 minute of it. Do not try to understand every word. I want you to grab a piece of paper. As you listen, just write down the nouns, just the nouns: election, virus, market, price, storm. After the minute is over, look at your list of nouns. Can you tell me what the story was about? I guarantee you can. You will see that you captured the essence of the news without knowing the grammar. This proves that you are already fluent enough to understand the core. The rest is just practice. Leo's story at the Grand Meridian is over, but he will be back there tomorrow night, and the night after that. He will keep making mistakes. He will keep misunderstanding idioms, but he will never again be afraid of the language. He has made friends with the chaos. I want you to make friends with the chaos too. English is a messy, wild, beautiful language. It breaks its own rules. It borrows words from everywhere. It is spoken by billions of people, and no two of them sound exactly the same. Don't try to tame it. Just surf it. Thank you for listening to this special series on English and Fluency. It has been an honor to tell Leo's story to you. I hope you saw a little bit of yourself in him. I hope you felt his fear and his victory. Remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination. You are doing better than you think. You are listening. You are learning. You are growing. Until next time, this is Alex, signing off. Keep your ears open, keep your mind focused, and never, ever stop listening. Goodbye for now.